My mind is a big, complicated mess. It's always trying to jump through the logistical hoops and looking for answers where they don't even exist. Trying to make things make sense when they don't. I'm trying to understand things that are beyond my understanding. I think that I need to confront my shadow and fully face all the horrible things that I can think and feel, and then start to internalize them as part of myself. Let me continue to simply speak into the void unabated at this current juncture, because I don't think I have the ability to do much of anything other than that right now. And it is the only thing that I could actually do that would be productive at this current juncture. I am trying to draw from the inner wells of the self. I'm trying to face the parts of myself that I can't typically see, because for one reason or another they are hidden, whether I'm lying to myself or whether they are something that I simply cannot see, or most humans cannot see on their own. I wish to face these parts of me. So, how do we do these things? We allow the unconscious to be drawn forward through conscious meditation, and I am having to push myself to the edges of understanding and being to replicate the strength by which I was able to experience things in the past. I am currently in a situation where I get brief, intense sensations that are then able to be controlled, and I'm not sure how to what they're supposed to mean, what they're supposed to do, or even if they have a meaning, for they are functionally part of a defense mechanism that exists from the past, from all the things that I've done and all the things that I've feared, and then seeing the truth in front of me and knowing the truth isn't even enough to fully rationalize and internalize everything that's going on. Okay, so let me talk to you as a not me. Let me try and dissociate. Patient name Robert Blake comes in reporting emotional distress, having dealt with people in the past, seeing that he is growing way too attached to people that are bad for him, and he's recognized this pattern as of a week ago. He is currently fighting feelings of loneliness tangled with resentment for the people, or in this case, person, who was his most recent and always is the most recent person to have, in his eyes, betrayed him. These feelings then usually give way to an intense, overwhelming numbness that pervades until another person physically enters his life and lifts him out of this stupor, for he deems himself unworthy and unable to pull himself out. Recently, he is acknowledging that this is instead a way of coping with the lack of progress that he has made in the past, as opposed to recognizing where he has come and what he has done. He is instead finding ways to downplay every one of his accomplishments, because it is a habit of his from the past where he does not know how to cope with feeling good, quote-unquote, and is so used to pain that he doesn't think anything but pain is what is normal. So what do we say to this patient? I think this patient needs a friend. I think this patient needs possibly a couple of friends. He needs at least one close friend that he can talk to in person. And he needs probably more physical interaction with people. He has been very starved of physical interaction, and as such, he is more prone to outbursts because, basically, the small amount of physical interaction people take for granted every day will then just get multiplied by the time/distance between the activities. So he is currently trying to seek out a way of getting that from somebody and ending up accidentally manipulating them in the process, because it's what he was raised to do. So what he should do is recognize that he needs to start to care for himself, love himself, and that he is not fully to blame for his raising, but he's not to blame for his reactions, but he is the one fully in control of how he acts after that. Just because you have an emotional burst doesn't mean you have to act on it. Something doesn't have to feel right for you to do it. In fact, sometimes that can be the way forward, is living and coping with doing the right thing over what you feel you want to do. So, he could see this as its own meditation, and there is no real one path forward from here. He has to make his own decision. He sees a path forward. He wants to go with that path forward as opposed to trying to properly go about doing all the proper steps. So instead, we're going to try and facilitate his ability to go out and live just a little bit starting next week.